So I would like to thank Pascal. Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Yohanns for a beautiful talk. I learned a lot, even after all these years. And then I want to thank Pascal for having thought of this possibility of me presenting the European Molecular Biology Laboratory, even though I'm not yet actually part of it, but I soon will be the Director General from January 2019. And indeed, this is, I think, a very nice opportunity to present what the EMBL is about and what it represents in the European landscape of research. And I think it's very interesting that Marcia McNutt will be then presenting a more American perspective of science and its relationship to politics as well. So first of all, the EMBL, for those of you who don't know, was founded in 1974 as an intergovernmental organization with the mission to give bright young scientists a unique environment in Europe. And in fact, it was during and after the Second World War that many talented European scientists and intellectuals left Europe towards the United States. And it was in this context that Sir John Kendrew and Jim Watson shared a vision together with others and discussions with many intellectuals around Europe. They shared a vision of creating a center of excellence in scientific research in Europe. And they wanted to counterbalance what they saw as a European brain drain and give scientists a home in Europe, a home that would not be constrained by national interests. Thus, EMBL was founded in 1974 as this intergovernmental organization, and it was inspired by the example of CERN. So today, EMBL remains the only intergovernmental research performing organization in the area of life science research in Europe. Following its foundation by 10 member states, including France in 1974, EMBL has now grown to include 25 member states, with Montenegro being the latest addition very recently, as well as 2 associate member states outside of Europe, including Australia and Argentina. So the agreements that were signed to be part of EMBL by each of these member states, including the United Kingdom, are independent of agreements to be part of the European Union. And I think this is particularly important to consider in the context of the UK's participation, as UK's implication in EMBL is totally independent or unaffected by Brexit, I'm pleased to say. And it was actually one of the reasons, I have to admit, that I accepted to take on this job. So EMBL represents an important unifying factor for European research and for Europe in general. And as I said, it was probably the main reason I accepted this rather daunting task to become Director General of this wonderful institution. So currently, EMBL operates from 6 different sites in 5 countries, with its headquarters located in Heidelberg, Germany. There are over 1,600 people that work at EMBL, representing more than 80 different nationalities. And the different EMBL sites cover various areas of biology, for example, molecular, cellular, and developmental biology in Heidelberg, as well as structural biology. Strong structural biology in Hamburg and Grenoble. And a recent highlight in this field of structural biology was the attribution of the Nobel Prize for Chemistry to one of EMBL's alumni, the biophysicist Jacques Dubochet, who some of the people in this audience know well, and who developed cryo-electron microscopy techniques to determine high-resolution structure of biomolecules in solution. Another of EMBL's sites at Hinxton is specialized in bioinformatics, the European Bioinformatics Institute, or EBI, which is, I think, the biggest center for bioinformatics services and research in Europe. In Rome, there's one of the units that specializes on neurobiology and epigenetics, and the most recent addition is in Barcelona, where a site was set up focused on tissue biology and disease modeling. So EMBL functions since 1974 on founding principles that have remained at its core and become a model for European research institutes, including the one I work in currently, the Curie Institute. thanks to the inspiration of Daniel Louva when he returned from EMBL via the Institut Pasteur and then took over the direction of the Curie Institute. So these principles are to focus on talented young scientists who are offered a unique environment where they can develop and do their best work. An environment that's characterized by scientific freedom, cutting-edge equipment, an open and collaborative culture with efficiency and minimal bureaucracy, and which allows scientists to focus on their research. So this operational model has enabled EMBL scientists to carry out truly excellent research and has produced many of the scientific leaders in Europe and around the world today. EMBL pursues 5 synergistic missions that are designed to provide added value to the activities of the national scientific communities in EMBL's member states. The first, of course, is to conduct forefront basic research, uncovering the molecular basis of life. The second is to provide world-class research infrastructures and services to its scientists. The third is to train and inspire the next generation of leading scientists. The fourth is to drive research, innovation, and progress through technology development, interactions with industry, and technology transfer. And finally, the fifth is to play a leading role in the integration of life science research in Europe. So what are the research areas that EMBL covers today? Every 5 years, EMBL develops a strategic plan that outlines its future activities in the 5 different mission areas that I just mentioned. For the period from 2017 to 2021, which I will be joining, EMBL's strategic priority, under the leadership of the current Director General, Professor Ian Matai, is digital biology, and the aim of which is to strengthen and expand EMBL's service portfolio and to respond to the changing landscape of life science research, and in particular to lead in the new area of molecular biology as it becomes truly quantitative from genotype to phenotype, to model complex systems at all scales, and in particular in human systems as they become more accessible, to allow molecular approaches and bioinformatics to truly create new bridges between basic translational and clinical research. I also want to mention that amongst EMBL's researchers, scientific excellence is reflected by the fact that around 30% of group leaders hold an ELC award. So one of the key aspects of EMBL at the heart of the way it functions is collaboration. And this is the spirit that it seeks to propagate across Europe. And as most biological problems and societal challenges related to them become more and more complex, they can't be tackled by a single institute or country. And so the pooling of resources and expertise of scientists from different countries is key to success and progress. And this is really what is at the core of EMBL, to promote international collaboration. And this slide just shows the extent of the international collaboration at EMBL. Over 2/3 of the scientific output over a 3-year period was published in collaboration with hundreds of institutes or institutions worldwide. Finally, in line with its missions, EMBL proactively engages in the integration of life science initiatives and helps to shape science policy and strategy in Europe. So this includes engagement with its member states and with the broader European and international scientific communities, European policy-making and decision-taking bodies to enable European science to reach its full potential. And these include the European Strategy Forum for Research Infrastructures, or ESFRIs, the European Commission, and IRO Forum organizations, which are a partnership that brings together Europe's 8 world-class intergovernmental scientific research organizations, including EMBL, CERN, the European XFEL, Eurofusion, ESA, ESO, ESRF, and ILL. EMBL has also played a key role in promoting cooperation in related sciences and has provided strategic advice for the creation of pan-European infrastructure projects for the biomedical sciences. So these provide scientists with access to advanced imaging technologies, for example, Eurobioimaging, to structural biology instrumentation, for example, Instruct, And others are aimed at building a common infrastructure for data services in Europe, such as Elixir, in particular with respect to bioinformatics, and for the coordination of the access of users to these and many, many more essential infrastructures for biomedical research and the Corbel initiative. Finally, EMBL also strives to promote excellence through its institutional partnerships. There are many of these, and they're close collaborative affiliations with EMBL and these external institutions of comparable standard with a vision and international orientation. And the aim of this is to leverage the EMBL model with the strengths of these partners in order to create an interlinked system of excellent institutions that enhance molecular life science in Europe and the world. So I want to just conclude with a few words about myself. And in January 2019, I will indeed start my mandate as the new Director General of EMBL. My hope is to propel EMBL as a powerful model for European research further into the 21st century by contributing to place it at the forefront of life science research and technology, producing the leaders of the future, and by providing services in technology and training to all of its member states. For the next 5-year program that we will have to prepare as soon as I start, in fact, in 2019, and that will actually begin in 3 years from now, I would envision that European science will have to go well beyond the scale of the organism towards an understanding of communities and their ecosystems, whether these be microbiomes or complex aquatic and terrestrial communities. And I would like to say that the Tara Oceans project that many of you have heard of, I'm sure, was actually initiated by Eric Carsanti while he was at EMBL, and is very much, I would say, one of those dreams that EMBL allows to happen and to come to reality, and has been a huge success. I believe that EMBL can play a key role in helping to push forward our understanding of biodiversity using quantitative and integrative approaches, both in the lab and in the field. And in this way, we may also be able to comprehend and tackle some of the planetary challenges that worry us so much today, including climate change. And I hope in so doing that EMBL will also continue to provide a haven for excellent fundamental research conducted with freedom and energy. So thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup pour cet exposé. Peut-être 2 questions, ou est-ce que Pascal Cossard voudrait poser une question?
No, can you say a word about how the countries contribute for the budget?
How they contribute?
Yes.
You mean how much? Or?
Yes, how much?
Well, the overall budget, the annual contribution comes to about 100 million euros from the different member states. And France, for example, in particular, is the 3rd contributor. Germany is top, UK second, and France is 3rd, 17 million euros per year. So this is a big sum, and it's clearly at the heart of EMBL's success. And my mission will be to try and continue to promote and inspire the member states to contribute.
So this 17 million is programmed forever? I think it depends on the...
Every 5 years,
yeah.
Every 5 years, the Director General has to provoke and inspire the member states to contribute. And France has been a very faithful and solid contributor, the UK and Germany too, and the new member states at lesser levels have all contributed. And this is the idea being that indeed the 5 missions I outlined to you are the ones that will give the return to each of the member states. And my mission is to really make sure that every country finds what they're looking for with EMBL. And in fact, I didn't mention it today, but what I would like to hope is that we can take EMBL into its member states more deeply. For example, by bringing some of the latest technologies into different institutions, perhaps with a sort of mobile EMBL entity. I won't give too much away, but we have ideas along the way of actually Tara Oceans to bring EMBL to every member state and in a very proactive way.